Chapter 3, The Wood Remembered. They prepared carefully. Polly had kept the rings safe all these years, but that did not mean that she'd forgotten how dangerous they were. She produced them from the velvet-lined box and laid them on Digory's desk. 2 yellow, 2 green, glinting in the lamplight. "You remember how they work, don't you?" she asked. "Yellow takes you out of any world and into the wood," Digory said. "Green takes you out of the wood and into whatever world corresponds to the pool you're standing beside. And you must be touching them," Polly added. "Pocket won't do, not for the pockets, not for the transition." They dressed warmly, for who knew what temperature the grey place might be. They bought food and water, a torch, a length of rope, and a small medical kit. And they each placed a yellow ring in their right pocket and a green one in their left, ready to be grasped when the moment came. And then they stood in Digory's study, held hands, and touched the yellow rings. The wood between the worlds is not like other places. It's really quiet. So quiet you can hear yourself think, which is not always comfortable. The light is green and golden, filtering down, though leaves never seem to move. And everywhere there are pools of water, dozens of them, hundreds perhaps, maybe thousands, each one a window into another world. When Digory and Polly had first come there as children, every pool had shimmered with its own particular light. Some were bright and clear, some were deeper and much more mysterious. But all of them were alive with possibilities. Now, as they walked through what Polly called the dead quarter, they saw what 55 years had done to the wood. Pool after pool showed not light but darkness, a kind of oily blackness that reflected nothing. These were the pools that led nowhere anymore. The worlds on the other side had just ended, whether by war or catastrophe or simply the natural death that comes to all things. Those worlds had ceased to exist, and their pools had died with them. "Half of them," Digory murmured, "perhaps more. So much has been lost." They walked on in silence, stepping carefully around pools that no longer led anywhere, until they came to one that was different from all the others. It was grey. Not the bright grey of morning fog, but something darker and more unsettling, the grey of ashes, or of twilight, or of something caught between states of being. And unlike other pools whose surfaces were still, this one swirled continuously. It was never at rest. It never settled. "This is the only grey one," Digory said, kneeling beside it with some difficulty. 70-year-old knees are, well, they're not what they once were. He peered into it, and for a moment the mist cleared so that he could see. "Stone," he whispered, "steps leading down into something I can't quite make out." "There's something down there," Polly said. She too had knelt carefully to look. Something waiting, or someone. Digory straightened and held up the sun-marked vase. Matthew wrote, "Remember the wood. The wood is not merely a place, it's made of water from all of the worlds. All worlds drink from the same deep surface." He unstoppered the vase with some difficulty, for the seal was tight and ancient. The liquid within glowed faintly, a soft golden light that seemed to carry warmth. "These vases hold wood water too, concentrated, maybe purified." something that might strengthen a pool enough to create a passage. So if you pour it in, I don't know. Digory looked at the grey pool and then at Polly, and in that exchange of glances passed all the history of their friendship. The terror of Charn, the glory of Narnia's creation, the healing of his mother, and all those long years since. But I think it's time to find out whether my brother's message was real, or whether I've been torturing myself for 23 years over a dead man's hope. He raised his free hand and tapped the edge of the pool 3 times, deliberately, rhythmically, as one might knock upon a door. For Matthew, for luck, for courage, and then he poured. The liquid struck the grey surface and spread out outwards in concentric rings of light, each one pushing back the mist as though it were a physical thing that could actually be moved. The transformation was not violent, but rather inevitable. Like dawn breaking, darkness simply ceasing to be darkness. The stone steps which Digory had glimpsed became solid, real, indubitable. They led down into what appeared to be a vast grey space, the edges of which could not be seen. Well, said Polly, in the same tone she'd used 59 years earlier, when suggesting they investigate the corridor between houses. Well, I suppose we're going down. And down they went. Part 2, The Finding, Chapter 4, The Prison of Frozen Time.